welcome back. It is the Vegas Take Sharpton Shapiro on a Thursday. By the way, tomorrow on the show, we will be joined by Michael Avenatti. Usually joins us on Wednesday, but we get a little treat. He'll be joining us tomorrow on the show. And as I mentioned, coming up in hour number 3, we have TMZ's Mike Babcock, who's going to be joining us, and UNLV head football coach Tony Sanchez. Big UNLV game at Sam Boyd Stadium over the weekend, so we'll preview that with Coach Sanchez. So you might have heard this a few days ago, and it's pretty bad. It was a pretty bad crash. I'm not a huge Kevin Hart fan. I mean, some people find him funny. I never really found him funny at all. I mean, look, I look at somebody, George Carlin, Chris Rock, Chris Farley, Adam Sandler. Those are the guys that I grew up loving. Kevin Hart's just not one of them. He's just not one of those guys that I ever found funny. I think his movies are stupid, but that's beside the point. I'm just not a huge Kevin Hart fan. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But, nobody wants him to get hurt. And he was in a really serious car accident where I guess his car flipped over. He was the passenger in this vehicle. Could have lost his life. I mean, it was really that bad. And now some of the 911 calls are being released here. So this is actor Kevin Hart's wife. Her name is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, her name is Eniko Parrish in the 911 call. Here it is.
LA County Fire, number 6.
Hi, I was in an accident. I just need to know I need someone to come get him.
So he was in a car accident earlier tonight, or what happened?
Yes, earlier tonight. I don't know what happened.
Okay, but
he's not coherent at all.
That's really scary. So I'm wondering how his wife even found out about that. That's weird. So here's one of the witnesses in the car accident of Kevin Hart that called 911 that was right there.
County Fire 78, what's the address?
Each due to transfer is going to be southbound Mulholland Highway just south of Stunt Road, and we are en route.
Okay, one moment. Is everybody in the vehicle awake?
Yeah, they're both awake. Sounds like the passenger's stuck in the car. The driver is out of the car, but he looks a little hurt. The driver is out right now. They're trying to get the passenger out.
That's really scary stuff. And when you looked at, we'll talk to Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports coming up in hour number 3. But when you look at like the vehicle and what it looked like after the accident, you will be amazed to know that both the passenger and the driver made it. And Hart, it appears as though he's going to be okay. So thank God for that. Nobody wants anybody innocent here getting hurt just because I'm not a Kevin Hart fan. But we're glad he's going to be okay. He's obviously going to have to rehab. His wife put out a statement saying that he's going to make it. He's expected to make a full recovery, but it's going to take a long time, and it's going to be a long road to recovery. But like I said, we're glad he's going to be okay. So I want to tie this in, though, to, as you remember, Kevin Hart was supposed to host the Oscars, and he did not host the Oscars because of the anti-gay comments that he had made on Twitter in the past. I wasn't sure if I really agreed with that. As a comedian, if you make some gay jokes, I don't think you should be ostracized for that, and I felt like it was a little bit unfair. But Kevin Hart does have a history of, being anti-gay for whatever reason. So one rapper that came out, his name is Lil Nas X, and JD probably knows a little bit more about him than I do. But
he's an interesting hip-hop artist. He's African-American, but he is a country artist.
I didn't know that.
And his song is with Billy Ray Cyrus.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And it's one of them. I mean, it was number 1 on the Billboard 100 for, I think, 20 weeks, which broke a record.
So we bring him up because he came out as being gay, and he's got a new show on HBO, and he's talking a little bit about coming out and being gay, and Kevin Hart interrupts him and says, "So what?" He said he was gay, so what, Kevin Hart said, and just basically, the problem I have with some people like Kevin Hart, and we talked about the straight pride parade, the problem I have with people like that, and I am going to put Kevin Hart in that category. I think a lot of people do not understand the difficulties, the trials and tribulations that people have had to go through their entire lives because they are homosexuals. There are many people today still, certainly in many other countries, but in the United States of America, they're afraid to come out of the closet in fear of what people will say or how people will treat them, including own members of their close family and friends. And I can't imagine how difficult that must be to live your life like that. And I don't think people that were in this straight pride parade in Boston, and I don't think people like Kevin Hart truly understand how difficult it is for some people to not be able to be comfortable in their own skin, to not be able to come out and say who they are and what their sexuality is. And I personally know people in Las Vegas that keep a low profile and keep it quiet about their homosexuality, not because they're not happy with who they are, not because they're afraid or anything, but because they're in a way they just don't want to deal with the repercussions, sadly, of family and friends and people that they work with going after them because of their sexuality.
Are you sure you're not mixing that up with them just not being flamboyant and over the top and in your face about it?
No, because I know people personally, and I've talked to them about that confidentially have told me that they are gay. And the reason that, and I say to them, well, how come, I never knew that, and I don't care. But I say, how come you don't talk about that and you've never, told people about that? And he said, well, because I'm afraid. I've talked to a few people. One particular friend of mine who said, because, I don't want to have to deal with my friends. I don't want to have to deal with my family because they would be disappointed in me. And I know one personal friend of mine whose son recently came out of the closet. And he's actually a fan of the show. And his son came out of the closet. And he was crying. He comes to my place and he starts crying, getting emotional. I said, what's wrong? My son said he's gay. And I said, then why are you crying? Love your son. What does it matter what his sexuality is? You want a child? He can adopt a child or something. And I convinced him, and I said, listen, being gay is no different than you or me. It's just a different sexuality than you. That's all. It should be no different than the way we dress. Some people, or the fact that you have hair and I'm bald, right? We all have different genetics. Doesn't mean we should be afraid to say who we are. Sadly, there are people out there that will frown upon you and look down upon you based on their religion, which is ridiculous, in my opinion.
Who has a great head of hair is your father.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. But there are a lot of people on the right, who talk about the Bible. There are a lot of people on the right who talk about religion. And listen, I'm not a very religious person. I'm very open about that. It doesn't mean I'm an atheist. I'd like to think there's something out there.
Wait, it doesn't mean you hate God?
I'd like to think that there is a God. Now, there are people in the world I hate, but the people that I hate are people that I know personally. You know why I don't know God personally? Because I've never met God before. God has never spoken to me. And for the people out there that say God is speaking to me, they're full of crap. They are. Okay? God has never spoken to anyone.
Have we ever had a religion conversation on this show?
Well,
before?
no, I mean,
I don't think we have. I think this is our first one.
Listen, there are some people on this station, and they're entitled to their own opinion. There are people, particularly all over the country on the right, that swear by the Bible. And the question I asked them is, well, who wrote the Bible? How do you know who wrote the Bible? How do you know if there's life after death? How do you know? The answer is, I don't know, so you don't know. Your beliefs are no better than my beliefs. We don't know if there's life after death. We don't know if there's heaven. We don't know if there's hell. We don't know if there's a God. People could say they know, but they don't, because there is absolutely no 100% proof to back that up. And the reason why I'm bringing up religion, and the reason why I'm bringing up the Bible, and the reason why I'm bringing up God is for this reason. Because many people that are way on the right, that call themselves, these ultra-Christians, who swear by the Bible, they frown upon homosexuality. Mike Pence, our vice president, is one of those people. So,
well, Mike Pence is clearly playing to his base. That's abundantly clear at this point.
Mike Pence has been like that his whole career.
As far as his wife and where she works, it's legal for that school to exist.
Never said it was illegal.
Do I think that it should? Probably not. But would I compare that school to a school run by David Duke, the leader of the KKK, which has openly requested damage and violence to a specific race? This school is not requesting violence or recommending violence to homosexuals. It just doesn't allow homosexuals in the school or in its faculty, which is totally different in my opinion.
I never said it was illegal, just like I never said it was illegal to hold up a sign on a sidewalk that says, I hate gay people, you're all going to hell. You could do that too if you want to. It's not illegal. You have the First Amendment right to do that.
Happens on Fremont Street all the time.
Well, it's ridiculous. Those people are idiots as far as I'm concerned. But the reason why I bring up religion is because what type of religion do you believe in? What type of religion do you abide by that says that we are not all equals, that because somebody might be different than you based on sexuality, that because somebody might be different or look different than you, because somebody might have a different sexual preference than you, that we should look down upon you. I'm sorry. But I could never condone that type of attitude, behavior, or religion. We'll take some phone calls on this, the GCI Guys hotline, if you want to be a part of this conversation. 257-5396, 702-257-5396. And I've been talking about this a lot this week. The Straight Pride Parade in Boston. Make no mistake about it, in my opinion, the Straight Pride Parade was all about mocking homosexuality. Nobody, tell me in life, has anyone ever said, hey, I'm straight, and judged you because of that? In life, have you ever been frowned upon or somebody said something negative about you because you said you were straight? Of course not. Nobody would say that.
I think what Kevin Hart was trying to say was, it doesn't matter. A lot of people are homosexual. A lot of people are gay. Why are you making a big deal out of this? I think that's kind of what he was getting. I don't think he was saying like, oh, so what? Nobody cares. I think he was saying, hey, it's 2019.
That's not what he said.
This is very, very consistent. This happens all the time. You're not unusual.
That's not what he said. And Kevin Hart has made a lot of anti-gay remarks on social media in the past. So to me, it seems like Hart, he's got something. He's got a big problem with people that are homosexuals, and that's part of the reason why he didn't host the Oscars. I'm not saying I agree with that, but anyway, we'll take your phone calls on this. And again, going back to the Straight Pride Parade, I think those guys are and women are a bunch of buffoons that decided to get up in the morning and celebrate the fact that they are straight. Okay, straight people haven't been oppressed in this country or in the world for that matter. It's homosexuals that have been, and they're trying to celebrate with one another the fact that they are gay and they're happy with who they are.
You can't have a parade unless you've been oppressed.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. I never said that. You're making the argument, well, it's not illegal. I never said it was illegal. What I'm trying to say is that many of these people are celebrating the fact that they're straight, but in essence what they're doing is they are mocking these gay parades, and I think it's ridiculous, and I think these people need to get a life. That's what I think. Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the program, 257-5396. Let's start off with Mike. Mike, what's going on?
What's up, Mike?
Good morning, Mr. Shapiro and Sharp. How are you doing?
Doing good, Mike. What's on your mind, man?
Very well.
Oh, I got a few things. I just wanted to yesterday, Brian, this is unreal, but yesterday was the fourth time that I randomly called in and we talked about a shooting that just happened.
Mm-hmm. It's sad, isn't it? It's sad.
It's crazy. And also, Brian, there was one, I think it was 4 or 5 shootings ago in a bar in California. The guy came in with a Colt 45.
It's sad, Mike.
You probably remember that if you Google it. I forget the name, but you get lost with there's so many. But
well, it's terrible.
Anyway, I think it's absolute. I think our whole country, not all of, I think half of our country is just cracking up. And it's a combination of, here's something a lot of people don't know, that almost every reservation tribe has a terrible problem with suicide and methamphetamine and alcohol right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew
every
that.
tribe. But anyway, about the parade, I do not believe in wearing my belief on my shoulder, and I think both are wrong.
Well, to an extent, but Mike, let me just bring it to you this way. Look, I'm a straight guy, but I defend, the First Amendment right to have a parade. I'm just saying I think anybody that wakes up in the morning and feels the need to have a straight parade, I think you're an idiot. I think I can understand a little bit more of why these people are having gay parades, and it's because these people have been oppressed most of their life. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I kind of agree with you. I think that was antagonistic, and if you're a real man, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen.
But also, I wanted to make a prediction that we are going to see, I think, before Trump's elected, the first congressman murder another one.
Oh, I hope you're wrong on that. That would be horrible.
I hope I'm wrong, too, but that's where we're getting to. I swear I just have a very dark feeling and a deep, scary feeling of where our country's going. And also, another prediction I want to make is Biden, I don't know if you've seen the latest, but they got blood coming out of the guy's eyes.
Yeah, we
discussed it.
We talked about that.
I think Gavin Newsom's going to come in and they're going to make Aunt Pelosi happy.
well, it was a little strange seeing blood come out of his eye. Mike, we appreciate the call. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate that. 702-257-5396. Boy, I hope he's wrong on that one. I hope nobody geez, murder somebody, a politician. That'd be bad. Again,
that would be rough.
Number to call if you want to call in again, 257-5396. Let's go to Mike in Summerlin. Mike, what's going on?
What's up, Mike? Other Mike?
Well, new transplant from Los Angeles. Just everything you've heard bad about politics, homelessness. Multiply that, the corruption in politics and the homelessness by 10, and you'll be almost there.
Mike,
That's
let me ask you something.
It is in Los Angeles.
Mike, I agree.
I have a question for you, too, Mike.
Mike, so I've seen the video of all these, the homeless issue in Los Angeles.
You're talking about Skid Row.
It is awful, and I don't understand, like, you have, like, a nice $500,000 home, and then a block or two outside your home, you have all these people living in tents. And I don't know how people can live both in those circumstances. It's unbelievable, and there's nothing they're doing about it.
Normally, I don't like to check the host because often I am the host. But when you say nice and $500,000,
that's wrong.
You're using Las Vegas monetary standards.
Well, it's probably
it's
nice
more like 2.5.
Is a contradiction, but I get what you point. You mean a nice $1.5 million?
You know what I'm saying?
And,
yes.
And homeless. I get what you're. Yeah. There is the police are not allowed to clean up, move away a homeless encampment like 10 tents in a row and move them away, or put people that are obviously qualified to be in an insane asylum into an insane asylum because that was banned during the Reagan administration and people were released to the streets. So your point is well taken. I don't understand it either, but I will just tell you that the housing the homeless is a cottage industry and one of the biggest wastes of money.
Sure.
It's not a waste of money to house homeless people, but instead of it costing $40,000 to $70,000 a year, it's about $500,000 a year.
Mike, I want to interject real quickly. Why did you leave L.A. to move to Vegas?
The traffic is horrible.
Yeah.
It's going vertical. The variances for contractors are out of control, and where there used to be 1- and 2-story apartment buildings, and they're now going 8 and 10 stories high. There is something called Vision 2050 to get all of the cars off of the streets, and the topography of Los Angeles, with all of its hills and canyons, does not allow for that type of Vision 2050. They had something called the road diet. You can look it up, where there would be a 3-lane street, and they would take 1 lane away for bicyclists. And they find out that in a 1-week period, there would be perhaps 10 bicyclists taking up a car lane. It's just
no, it's bad. Listen, if I had any hair on the top of my head, I would certainly pull it out if I was living in L.A. Well, Mike, listen, thank you for moving here to Las Vegas, calling Las Vegas your home. We appreciate you calling in. Thank you for listening. 257-5396, by the way, the number to call is 702-257-5396. Yes, we've been talking about gun violence and gun control. We've talked a little bit about the straight pride parade in Boston and even entangling that with actor Kevin Hart, who was in a really bad car accident. Luckily, he's going to make it out okay, but there are people like Kevin Hart who frown upon homosexuality. Listen, if you don't agree with the lifestyle, I don't have a problem with that. You're entitled to your opinion when it comes to that. But having a straight pride parade, come on, guys. And I never have I said on this show that it's against the law. Okay, just like I say it's not against the law to hold up signs that say, I hate gay people. Sadly, there are people that do that as well, and they're morons. Stop quoting the Bible. Stop talking about, well, my religion tells me this. My religion tells me that. How about being a decent human being and accepting others that maybe are not the same as you? If you don't support that type of behavior, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But a straight pride parade? I'm sorry, but it makes absolutely no sense to me. It is completely idiotic, to say the least. But, we're still going to see more of it. We're going to see more of these ultra-religious fanatics, mainly on the right, because they don't agree with your lifestyle, because they don't agree with who you are, because they're not the same as you. I'm telling you, Mike Pence is one of those people. I think Mike Pence is, he is voted, based on his voting record, he has been anti-gay for the latter of his career. And listen, I can give you many examples why. Many examples why. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. Number to call, 257-5396. Again, 702-257-5396. By the way, if you're thinking of storming Area 51, we have some information for you. We'll take a quick break and be back right after this. You are listening to The Vegas Take.